Hi Aries, welcome to your December 2023 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aries, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's have a look, see what is happening for you over the course of December. Can you believe it is the end of the year already? All right, like, I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like 2022 just kind of zipped by. It's like I blinked and oh look, yeah, the year's done. All right, for your actions and interactions with the world at large, you've got the Justice card. This, yes, it's commitments and all of the rest of that usual stuff, absolutely. The thing that really comes up here though, the feeling that I get from this is this month you're going to be entrusted something, all right? This is something that you're going to have to commit to. Maybe somebody asks you a favor. Maybe somebody says to you, you know, I'm working on this thing, it's really important, and I'm entrusting you with the paperwork, with the documentation, with this secret. Whatever it is, obviously it's going to be a choice. Everything in life is a choice, right? We can always choose. You have agency. You can say no if you don't want to be a part of it. But this Justice card is going to see, because your actions and interactions with the world at large is about what you do. Justice card, contracts, paperwork, signing on the dotted line, as they say. But more importantly, this is where you commit to something. It's where you've made the decision and now you're making it official. But this month, the feeling that I get from that is somebody is entrusting you with something, whether this is information, something that they've shared with you, something that has been divulged to you. For a lot of you, I feel like this will be a secret. And I gotta be honest with you, it's not your secret to tell. So if you know yourself to be a little bit loose-lipped, you know, after a few bevies, because it's Christmas, right? It's the holiday period, it's the festive period. So whatever you celebrate, you know, alcohol tends to flow around this time of the year. If you know that and it's not about whether you can be trusted, but if you know that you have a tendency to let things slip, and this is a secret that's shared with you, or someone says, I need to tell you something, take a moment to really think to yourself, am I going to be able to keep this under wraps? Because if you can't, remember your ruler Mars is retrograde in the sign of Gemini, which is a really bad time to break a covenant, all right? Because the chances are it's going to come back around once Mars goes direct. Whatever you shared that you weren't supposed to or whatever, the likelihood is going to bite you in the butt, all right? Just be mindful of that. Now, if you were born with a Mars retrograde and you're an Aries, sun, moon or ascendant, that Mars retrograde is actually going to be a really great time for you to sign a contract, etc. General rules apply at this moment. When it comes to your communications and conversations, you've got the 9 of Cups. I love this, especially next to that Justice card, because whatever is coming to you, whatever you're choosing to commit yourself to here in December, not only does it have good results, but you're going to see almost not immediate results, but you are going to see things start to move quite quickly. It's almost like once you put your name to something, once you choose to commit to something, it kind of starts to develop really quickly. That 9 of Cups as a communications and conversations card is great because it suggests that a lot of the information that's coming to you this month, even in a retrograde, is good information. That 9 of Cups is a wish fulfilled, which means something that you've been waiting for, calling for, trying to manifest, whatever it might be, is actually on its way to you. You're getting really good news here in December that is going to really lift the heart space, especially for those of you that have had any challenges around health or, you know, healing stuff. For your heart and hearth sector, you have the Empress. This is beautiful, right? So for those of you that are trying to start families, for those of you that are already pregnant, for those of you where, you know, baby making, etc. is all in the air, or, you know, certainly on your mind, or maybe even on your body, this bodes very, very well, right? You've got the Empress coupled with the Nine of Cups. This suggests a few things to me. For those of you that are trying to conceive, it will happen easily and naturally. For those of you that have already conceived, like, the jury tends to be kind of, it's always a mixed bag. Like, you can imagine in my line of work, I speak to a lot of mothers, a lot of people that want children, etc. And it really is a mixed bag. Like, some women I speak to and they're like, oh, I glow through pregnancy and I love it. And, you know, it was amazing and it was the best experience of my life. And then I get others that are like, I fucking hated it. I love my child, you know, and it was a miracle to have them and all of that, but I hated the whole process. To be honest, for those of you that are already pregnant or looking to get pregnant, that suggests that the pregnancy will be easy. It will be easy, it will be flow. You're getting very good news about, you know, the way that things are going, which is great. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, that Empress card with the Nine of Cups, this is you hearing something from your significant other that you've wanted to or needed to for a while. It's also potentially good news about your partner's job, work, or professional sphere, which could be absolutely marvelous. For those of you that are single, if you're meeting someone this month, and it's very possible that you could, I kind of feel like it might be like a Christmas fling that kind of goes a bit further or a bit longer than that. And, you know, anything or anyone that shows up as the Empress tends to be quite easy on the eyes. So this could be like, maybe you say, well, you know, we're just going to have like some holiday fun and it's going to be this. It'll end up going longer than that. And I think you might really appreciate the fact that it does. For your money and materials, you've got the Death card. Okay, so not the easiest of cards for your monies or your resources. What this does tell me though is, so, because you could see this another way as well. This could be the end of one financial experience and actually the start or the beginning of another. For a lot of you, this could be a month where you're letting go of a debt. Yes, around the holiday season. I know I've known this to happen a lot. You know, in fact, for some of you, maybe your partner comes to you and says, oh, you know that thing that you've been paying off? Your Christmas present is that I've paid it off for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a few ways that this could show up. On the sort of heavier side of it, it does suggest something that maybe you have either put money into or something that you've purchased. You might get an email this month to say, I'm really sorry, but we're out of stock, or, you know, the item that we were going to send you is now, you know, I touch wood, I hope I'm wrong, is broken or whatever. So just keep that in mind, all right? It's like maybe some purchase that you've made doesn't go ahead, but it's not going to be a tragedy. You've got so much other good stuff or good news here that, to be completely honest with you, I don't think it's going to be an issue. Ooh, okay, so your jumping card there for your first week of the month is the Hanged Man. You've got this with the Justice card. Because the Hangman is a card of delays, waiting, patience, stillness. It's also a card of martyrdom. And because you've got this with the Justice card, remember what I said to you, something's being entrusted to you here. If that is the case, check in with your own spirit before, like if someone says to you, I've got to tell you something, do a little deep dive, do a little personal internal probe and ask yourself, is this something that I want to be entrusted in? If you get a yes, then go ahead. If you get a I'm not sure, probably best to hold off. Again, if you're not born under a Mercury retrograde or a Mars retrograde, this first, in fact, the whole month of December is probably not the best time to sign a contract, but it does look like one's being offered to you. So there is an offer or an opportunity of some kind coming in here for you. It just might be that you have to delay it, or it comes up and you're like really psyched about it. And then just as you go to say like, yeah, I'm totally in, you get the message back to say, actually, we're going to have to postpone this. Again, don't worry. If it's a good offer now, it will be a good offer later. For your second week of the month, you've got the Lovers card. Look at that. I mean, this is beautiful. For those of you that are single and ready or looking to mingle, there is love, there is flirtation, there is excitement, there is just enjoyment, right? And with that Nine of Cups as well, it almost suggests that for some of you, maybe somebody's trying to set you up. Maybe somebody is like, you know, I've got this friend. And usually, you know, I'm one of those people, I'm like, I roll my eyes because when I see some of the pics that friends and that, I'm like, really? You thought that we would, oh, okay. Right. But if you're not, if you're one of those people this could be one of those times where they actually get it right. Whoever you are connecting to, it does feel for me like this is somebody, like I said, it could just start as something fun, a bit of a fling, a bit of excitement, and you really don't expect anything from it, but it develops into something genuinely, truly wonderful. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments already, this could be, you know, like I said, this could be some really good news that comes through the partner, through the partner's finances, money, resources. It could be a gift that they get you that you're getting early prior to, you know, the actual festive period. Now, you've got this Lovers card here next to the Hanged Man. For those of you that have partners either out of town, or in different locations or in other countries, I'm really sorry to say, if you're expecting them back in that first or second week of the month, they're going to be late. All right. It's not that they're not coming. It's just they are going to be late. There's a delay. There's a hold up with their travel or something, especially if there's paperwork and or visas and stuff involved. They will get there in time for the holidays, but they are going to be late. All right. So just keep that in mind as a consideration. For your third week of the month, you've got the Strength card. I love this because it kind of feels for me like the third week of the month brings a real time of honesty, and I kind of feel like this is where you're going to be saying to yourself, you know what, this is what I want from a relationship. And it might take, you know, courage for you to say to this person, like, I know we said it wasn't going to be anything serious and it was just supposed to be fun and all the rest of it, but I actually really like you, and I'm wondering if this could, you know, continue once the festive period is over, and vice versa. Love that. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, if you have been planning to talk about starting a family, you got good news coming. If you've been wanting, for those of you that are proposing around Christmas, you're doing something bold, daring, brave, it's going to be a yes. All right. I'm a big softie. If you've been with me long enough, you know this. I am a hopeless romantic. I'm a big softie. I love love. I love seeing people be happy. And I really love, you know, those, when you read those stories and stuff, like that's me. That's where my inner girly Raph comes in. For your fourth week of the month, you've got the Judgment card underneath the shit. Okay, so just to sober it up a little bit, I do have some potentially hard news to deliver here. The Death card coupled with the Judgment card is one of the few pairings that means literal physical death. Now, something that I want you to be very mindful of here, if you are losing somebody here at the, like, it will be right at the end of the month, so you'll have the festive period, etc., and then right at the end of the month, it's a potential that you are hearing of a death or a passing. Now, what really strikes me about this is I know in my bones this is going to be somebody that's older. This will be, you know, people that are at great aunt, elderly sort of parents or grandparents age. All right, I really hope I'm wrong on this front, but that's a potential. Now, on the lighter side of this, that could literally be the end of or the death of a debt. It could also be the end of or the death of a challenging health situation that you might have had. When it comes to your finances, some debt that has plagued you for some time is now being removed or released, which is great. So for your moons, so on the 8th of December, we're going to do them backward because that's the way that they happen this year. So on the 8th of December, we've got the full moon in the sign of Gemini, which for you is in the 3rd house. So locality, siblings, you know, your local environment, reading, speaking, writing, etc. This is putting a spotlight on how you communicate. And it might be a time where, like this whole month, especially around, you know, the day before, the day of, and the day after that full moon, you might be feeling a lot more communicative. This might also be a time where you're really feeling, you know what, I've got a lot I want to say, I've got a lot I want to share. And I got to be honest with you, if this prediction is true, or while I was saying it, you had like a little tingle that made you go, I wonder if, right? That full moon at the, look, I got goosebumps. Ugh. That full moon at the 8th, around the 8th of the month, whatever you have in your heart, right? You got to say it. because, you know, none of us are promised tomorrow. This is one of the reasons that I never demonize death. It's not easy, it's not the nicest thing to talk about. So with this, we've got the gate 19 and sensitivity. If there's something you need to say, if there's something you need to share, that full moon is the time to do it. All right, don't hold anything in your heart. Tell people that you love them, hug them. You know, this whole month, act accordingly. All right, now on the 23rd of the month, we've got that new moon in the sign of Capricorn, which for you is in the 10th house. Remember, whenever I'm talking about astrological considerations, I'm always talking about your ascendant first, to a lesser degree, but it's always still relevant, your sun and your moon. We have this new moon in the sign of Capricorn on the 23rd of December. It's fucking beautiful. I mean, it's just one of the best new moons. And you know what? When I was looking at this, I was like, that's the reward, right? We've had such a trying, challenging year. That new moon at the end of the year to, you know, just before Christmas and stuff, and Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate, or Yule. That new moon, that's our reward, right? It's just such a beautiful energy. When I saw it and I looked at the chart, I was like, yeah, for you, this is in your career house. What do you want? What do you want for the next 12 months from here? For that, well, certainly the next 6. What do you want out of your career, out of your job? Where do you want your professional life to take you? Use that new moon to set intentions around that. It really is a gorgeous new moon, all right? So don't waste it. And your message for that is the gate 60 and limits. Don't be put off by this card. It's actually one of my favorites. And the reason being is the tree on the emblem on the tree basically says, as high as the branches go is as deep as the roots need to go. So if for a while you've been plugging away at your career and you've been working really hard and you haven't really seen much progress, and you're like, you know, I don't know how much more I can give to my career, Raf. This is one of those moments where it's like you set intentions around this, and it's like, I've laid the foundation. That's what all the hard work has been. I don't know if you know this, but about bamboo, but basically Chinese bamboo will literally grow a massive root system. So for a long time, sometimes like 3-4 years, it literally looks like it's doing nothing, but it's growing this massive root system. And then when it's ready, it will literally just shoot up to like 7, 8, 9 feet. So this is kind of what I feel has been happening for a lot of you guys when it comes to the career. Now, that being said, remember as well, because, you know, you've got Pluto in the sign of your career sign, career house. That gate 60, the message behind it is learn to work within the confines or the limitations that you have that are, you know, that are yours. And the example I always give with this is, like, you know, though, you see those dogs where they've had an injury and the tail doesn't work, the back legs doesn't work, but the owner can't stand to get rid of them, so they build them that little thing with the wheels, and the dogs run with tongue flapping in the wind and ears up and perky. They don't care, because they've learned to work with what is available to them. Keep those considerations around that new moon and ask yourself, dare to dream big, right? You've done the laying of the roots now. Now you've got to think to yourself, what do the branches look like when they're fully open and a part of that canopy? With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Whether you celebrate a Christmas, whether you celebrate Hanukkah, whether you celebrate Yule, whether you celebrate Kwanzaa, whatever it is, I truly hope you have a wonderful holiday festive period. Remember that this year the winter solstice is going ahead as usual, so you can get your seat on that on the link in the description box below. It's on the 21st. We're going to use the magic of the solstice itself. We're going to be looking at the year ahead through human design. We're going to be looking at the astrology. We're going to be looking at some of the tarot. We're going to be looking at the numerology. Trust me, we are going in, and I have 2 amazing guests this year. As always, Denise will be back, and I also have a special guest as well that I really can't wait to have be a part of this project. So it would be lovely to see you there, the 21st of December, 7 p.m. UK time. All of the details will be in the description box below, and all of the details, you'll see them popping up on all of my socials and all the rest of it. All right. With that said, take care, and I'll see you soon.